So I had my second ayahuasca ceremony 2 days ago. It's usually you have a ceremony, then you have a day off to recuperate because the ceremony lasts till really late. And then our third ceremony is this evening. Usually around 7 we sit down, but we start around 9, 10, and it's normally 4 hours. But our second ceremony that I'm talking about today lasted until 3 a.m. So it's very long. And in 2 words, the way I would describe it was that it was beautifully horrific. I've made some notes and I'm going to go through them so you can hear my experience. So in the last video, in my first ceremony, you will remember I said I was too much in my mind, I thought I was going to go crazy and insane. And I was told I need to come to my heart space, in the soul, in love, where there's no thinking, right? So, as twin flames, we are told that we need to come into the heart and the soul out of the mind, out of the ego. And it's like, how do you do that? Because oftentimes we are very much in our minds, in the reasoning and the rationale, especially the divine feminines who are trying to understand and figure out the journey, whereas the divine masculine is very unconscious and just gets pulled along. You could say they're more in their soul, um, and they're, well, not always, because they also do overthink as well. But you want to be more sort of flowing and surrendered to the journey, like the divine masculine eventually does become, but so do you, okay? So I wanted a heart opening in the most kind, gentle, and loving way. That was my request to Mother Ayahuasca, because you make a request before you go in. But obviously, you get what you need, not what you want. And it is, very, very intense. So you take, the one glass. This time I only took one. I didn't take two like last time. And I was very apprehensive going into the session because you will remember last time I was very, very scared. So I was very resistant and I wasn't surrendering. And I kept seeing this sort of like tribal signs, like circles black all over. And because ayahuasca is psychedelic too, right? And it was like animals like pumas and very like dark, scary things coming towards me. And I had a lot of resistance. I was very much in my mind. I didn't want the same thing to happen again that happened last time. And I didn't want to face these things. I didn't want to face these scary shapes. So I kept saying, because you can speak with Mother Ayahuasca and you can say, I don't choose this. I choose gentle, kind, loving. So I kept saying that. But it was too much in my mind. Then I started realizing and understanding people I know or other people that I've come across who are in their mind in fear and what they must be going through. So I had compassion. I started to understand things. And last time, one of my fellow people here, my friend, said that, if you need to get up and go outside, then you should get some air. It can help you go to the bathroom. Because the first time I just wasn't getting up and I was just sitting down. I was in so much pain, but I also was unable to get up. So I did get up a few times. And every time I got up, Mother Ayahuasca stopped the effects so I could walk very gently, slowly. I could go to the bathroom. I could pee. Because I kept feeling a sensation, which I'll talk about in a second, in my private regions. I wasn't feeling sickly or like stomach ache like last time, but it was more so it was working with my sex organs to clear them from any distortions. So every time I'd go to the toilet, she'd speak to me, she took care of me, she was very loving and kind, the same way in which I am to myself generally when I speak to myself. And the cool air breeze outside comforted me and centered me. And there was a time when I lived in Germany many years ago, going through a lot of depression, and I was in my mind. And the air and the wind, and you can hear it today, there's a lot of wind today. It was actually soothing me and calming me and comforting me and making me realize the protective cushion of the wind. So that was really nice. And then when I came back, I was still a bit scared. And the shaman Wara, who's very nice, said, lay down, which I had done before, but I was scared to do so. But this time she said, focus on your breathing and calm down. And I did calm down and I surrendered quite easily to the experience. And I wasn't feeling sickly at all, so it was good. And ayahuasca works in waves. There's like waves that come up, and sometimes it's manageable, and sometimes it gets a bit intense, like a roller coaster. But my heart did open, and I started to be in the center. And I started to realize that there are no winners in this game. And it's not a game, in fact. You're not going to get a certificate. It is what it is. Because sometimes we're so used to being perfect, getting to the end goal, getting into union, getting this. No one's going to get anything out of this. There's no need to compete with each other or your twin flame. It is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. There's no need to analyze it, no need to vocalize it, because there was times when they do the ikura, it's called, the songs that they sing, the shamans. It's to evoke certain things and purge you at times. So they were doing, at one point, they were doing one about ancestors, right? And loads of people were vomiting, and it was very intense. And even the shaman said afterwards, it was like one of the most intense ceremonies they've ever been to. It was a deep cleanse, and it was kind of insane at times. And rather than analyzing the people around me, I was just saying it is what it is. And I wanted them, I felt liberated and happy that they were letting it all out. I felt like they were letting it out for me as well. They were purging. Just like you have to empty your cup, I realized that my twin flame was emptying his cup with all his distortions, all his physical, sexual, drug-induced madness that I felt he was doing on social media and also in daily life was actually very necessary. Like a lot of your divine masculines, they physically purge. Just like the people in the room, everyone has their own way. A lot of the time, divine feminine is purging emotionally and mentally, but the cup needs to be emptied. And I was very, very, very happy and understood that, without judgment, that it was very necessary, because it was all people's revulsions and compulsions and inner issues and ancestral stuff that just had to come out. It just had to come out. It just had to come out. And I felt liberated and happy by everyone's. I felt liberated by their purging. I felt like it was purging me, because I couldn't vomit, even though I wanted to. Maybe no, I didn't feel sick though, but I wanted to like be free of the feeling that was in my sex organs actually. And there was no judgment. I realized that the mind is like a puzzle. So it's like a white puzzle. And we've created all the maze within the puzzle with all our thoughts and negativities. And observing it, being neutral, being in 0 point, in the present, in the now, without judgment, without thoughts, just seeing it as it is, helps you to free yourself from the maze. And everyone must empty their cup. And we must have compassion for our twin flame also, because they are doing the best they can. They don't know what they're doing. When they met us, huge sprouts of light went inside them, and they are compelled to let it out. And it's not always nice. It's messy at times. It's horrific at times. And that's the beauty of it, okay? I wanted ayahuasca to be gentle and slow with me and kind. And she said, if you want us to be kind and gentle with you, you need to do the same for others, including your twin flame. You need to be gentle, slow, and easy with everyone, step by step. Everything is step by step. Do not bomb blast your twin flame with huge information about twin flames. They are babies. A baby, when you're feeding them, you give them a spoonful of the food, the baby food, at a time. You don't give them the whole meal and throw it down their throats. So not everyone is at the same place as us, and not everyone is at the same capacity of digesting things. So step by step, what's the rush? Step by step, step by step, step by step. I learned also that I need to be more authentic in myself, be more me, and not focused on what others think of me. If I need to go to the toilet and get up and do it. Like, don't be afraid of disturbing others, but do it in a kind way. Change your posture, live for yourself, listen to your body. I realized a lot of the time I wasn't listening. Maybe a lot of us also don't listen. We want to rush past or overthink and say, yeah, but we're not actually being quiet and listening to our bodies, always responding and talking to us. Don't be concerned by the outside noise or world in terms of how you are living. I realized as well, live for yourself, not for your twin flame, not for your friends and family. Live for you. What do you want? What do you want to do? How do you want to be? And I was very proud of where I am right now, because of all the things I've done have brought me to this place. And I'm actually quite good with my inner child and quite soothing with it. So I was quite happy for myself, because all my inner work has geared me to it. I went from the intellectual to the feeling and experienced it on a deeper level. So all the things I talk about twin flames and about purging and emptying your cup, it's all intellectual, but you understand it on a feeling level, experiential level. I also I felt that people's revulsion and repulsion was being purged. So when the things were coming up, when the songs were coming up to purge certain things, and certain things were being faced by people, if they accepted it, if they said it is what it is and integrated it, they wouldn't have a need to vomit or go to the toilet to do whatever. The reason why the resistance was what was causing it, and ayahuasca would get it out some way or the other. and that's why they were vomiting. We must accept, we can't control, let it all out, be present. I was very tired and weak, especially at times when I wanted it to stop. It was too much. It was like a roller coaster. But I know that it had to happen. And like I've always said, it's about expression, not suppression. You have to let it all out. And your divine masculine is letting it all out in the way they know, okay? And you must too. Anything that's within you, all the darkness must come out. It must come out. I wanted to give everyone in the room a message because you get a time to give a message to everyone. But basically, I just felt very self-conscious at times, or also I felt very tired. It was like basically saying, friends, you are doing so well. Let it all out and be liberated. And I was singing along at times when they were singing, and it was quite beautiful at times. And at times I was very irritated. And I wanted to take my ear off. And I think it's because I'm not been listening to myself. But Mother Aya was generally very kind and generous to me. And there was some horrifying things that were happening in the room. So there's one guy who has like problems walking and he meditates a lot. And at one point, in the first ceremony, he was burping a lot. He said he wasn't, but he was. And this time round, he started to just slap himself really hard and he wouldn't stop. And he was slapped. It's like seeing everyone's craziness right in front of you. It is what it is. He says it was Mother Ayahuasca getting him to do it, but my feeling was that he was trying to wake himself up out of the trance. He didn't want to be in the trance. And also that he was frustrated with his life and he was trying to activate his legs to work. And then there was another guy who's been on quite a few ceremonies and he likes to, when they ask, do you want to give feedback? He likes to talk. And it's quite long often. I don't mind it. Some others do. But he was really trying to purge and vomit, but he couldn't. And he was making really long, loud sounds. And it was really distressing. And, I felt compassionate. And I felt, please be gentle with yourself. But at times he kept standing up. And the shaman had to basically sit him down and calm him down. And also with the guy slapping himself, stop him. And then there's another guy, in the first session, who kept farting. And this time around, he was talking to himself. And I remember the first session, there was a girl who was like, I said, having almost like orgasmic birth pains. She had a great experience this time around. It was very transformational and loving and kind. But everyone's going through things. And some people have not worked on themselves before, so they're finding it more challenging. And some people have done psychedelics, drugs, acid before, and it's easier for them. And one guy basically saw a huge, massive moth, which is like a black butterfly or grey butterfly, and it was like it was God. And it told him to give his flesh to the ground or to the earth. So he just peeled away his whole face and body and gave it away. For me, that's quite scary because he's done a lot of psychedelics. It was fine for him, and he felt liberated in giving back to earth. So everyone's on a different part of the journey. But it needs to all come out. This is what I've realized. So I was more compassionate and loving towards my twin rather than annoyed and judging or resentful for what he had done the last 2 years, which was a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. But that was his way of letting it out, his way of expressing it. And everyone has their own way. And it's okay. Because once it's out, it's out. Once the cup is emptied, you are back to your divine self. So that's what I wanted to say. And tonight's the third ceremony, and God help me. And I will make a video about that afterwards. So see you later.